we've just witnessed Arsenal's biggest away win since 2009. Too easy for them against a much-changed Southampton. Just to let you know that if you want some European football, you can see Inter in action right now over on BT Sport 1. Tomorrow from 6:30, it's the European Football Show, also on BT Sport 1, including coverage of PSG up against Monaco, the big one from France. But there's no doubt about it, despite Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain being brilliant tonight, the headlines will be all about Theo Walcott and Danny Welbeck. A hat-trick for one, 2 goals for the other, both back from injury, and both now talking to Des.
Joined by Theo Walcott and Danny Welbeck. Theo, an important win here over a side that already knocked you out of one cup competition this year, and it was a really emphatic performance today.
Yeah, you know, we know how our spin when we come to Southampton. You know, they tend to be our bogey side, to be honest. But from the word go, we were ready. You know, we've been lacking on poor starts lately, but you know, we come up the blocks running, and this man next to me, obviously, he's come back with an absolute bang. It's great to see him back on the pitch. But then again, it's a clean sheet, which we always aim for in any game. But it's nice that we create a lot of chances and took them away today.
And you've got the match ball tucked under your armour, your old stomping ground here. A little bit of payback.
I wouldn't say it's payback at all. I think you know, it's been so long now. Obviously, I've had some great memories here, and Southampton will be in my heart without a doubt. Enjoyed playing football here at the time, and you know, obviously I enjoyed tonight, and the guys did a fantastic game today. But Southampton are a strong team. They're obviously going to do very well in that cup competition. You know, I'll be cheering them on in the final, and they're obviously very solid in the Premier League. But going back to us, you know, a lot of changes today the manager made. Obviously, what's been happening, you know, behind closed doors, it's just the way it is. But us players, we've managed just to, you know, do the talking on the pitch.
Theo mentioned you, Danny. First start of the season went pretty well, I thought. What did you think?
Yeah, it was obviously good to be back out on the pitch after such a long time out. You know, it's been a horrible few months, as you can put it, and obviously with the injury before. But it was great to be back out there, scoring goals and doing what I love doing.
And there were 2 fantastic goals as well. So during those months and weeks of rehab, training alone, physio work, are these the kind of moments you think of? Are they what keep you going?
Yeah, definitely, and I think because I had the experience before of coming back from an injury, you kind of know what to expect, even though it's tough times, you know. But the end game is to be back out on the pitch and playing in the first team, and I got that opportunity today, and I'm just looking forward to doing it many more times.
Is it odd to look across the aisle and not see the manager on the touchline? It's kind of an institution. He's a fixture there.
Do you know what? We're on the pitch. We just try and do a job. You know, when things are going well, it's great, obviously. But you know, it's obviously important for the manager to be there. But he's in the dressing room, you know, telling us what to do before and after the game. So during half-time, sorry, but you know, we know our jobs, and we've been in the game for a long time. We have so much experience in this team, so we know what to do. And you know, we want to get the win today, and we did that.
And you're in Monday's tour. Congratulations, gentlemen. Well played.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yep, no Wenger, no problem. We continue to ask ourselves if that really is a punishment for what happened in their league match at the Emirates. But look, let's focus on the positives tonight. And Theo Walcott, you know, he picked up this injury, he's missed the last 6 weeks, and the fear was, would he come back like the Theo Walcott we saw a season or 2 ago, or come back like the Theo Walcott we saw a month or so ago? And he's come back like the latter, hasn't he?
Well, he did his talking on the pitch, and he also said afterwards that we don't necessarily need the manager once the game kicks off, and that's what you want. You want players that take responsibility when they're out there, and he's done that from the word go at the start of this season. He's been out, of course, with an injury, and he's come up into this game today to come back to Southampton, where he started playing, and he wanted to leave a little mark of how he's improved. And there's no doubt that, I mean, look at this as easy, too easy for an Arsenal team. Perez, don't underestimate his involvement in that. Theo Walcott, yeah, he should never get there because McQueen's half asleep, quite frankly, but Welbeck will drive with the ball. This is what he does. Perez is the artistry. Look at that, pick out a pass. Arsenal work on this on the training ground, and this is the reaping those rewards. Welbeck as well. Listen, any footballer that's played the game, nothing worse than missing games for injury. It's incredible to see what he's come back and he's achieved. And Oxlade-Chamberlain as well was another player that, you know, he's got so much talent, and you're waiting for it to happen for him. Yeah. Tonight, maybe another player now starting to do it. Another Theo Walcott there, just tapping it into the corner. He has to work hard for this. You know, he's steady. He's picked his spot. And he looks emphatic with his finishing.
What's changed with his play then, Franny? Because only once in his Arsenal career has he scored more than 14 goals in a whole season. He's already got 14 goals, and we're only just into January.
Listen, I'm not taken away from his goals, his hat-trick this evening, but he was against the weaker side in Southampton this evening. But, you know, he's got all the attributes to be a a class player. We've seen it and we've spoken about it on many occasions, but he's finished well tonight. You know, as I said, Arsenal as a side were extremely strong, sharp, clinical, and he got himself in the right positions at the right times tonight.
He made it look easy. I was at the club when he arrived and everything was at a canter. Maybe it was too easy for him. And I think this season he's arrived after the pre-season and he's decided, I've been here 10 years, I want to be a really big name.
Yeah.
Can I be a regular? Can I win something?
And you think he's actually had that switch mentally? Had that switch this season?
You speak to him and you talk to him, you couldn't meet a nicer lad. Maybe there was a question of being maybe too nice. But I think now there's that cutting edge. He wants to be a winner and he needs to do that because Arsenal still a long way behind in the Premier League with Chelsea, but the FA Cup's there to be won.
I think players within a dressing room, they get to an age, or a youngster gets to a certain age, and we would have had it through our careers, that all of a sudden you then got to start being more of a voice and more of a presence in the dressing room and out on the pitch. And Theo Walcott is at that stage now. Is he going to now step up and be that bigger character?
No longer a youngster anymore, is he? Let's talk about the importance of Danny Welbeck, not just coming back from injury and scoring the 2 goals he scored tonight, but the fact that once again it's more options for Arsene Wenger, isn't it? He's played Sanchez up top, he's had Giroud coming in off the bench, and now another option's open.
Well, we talked about pace, and as a defender playing against pace, it frightens me. You know, Stevens is coming out there, he shouldn't be. But, you know, there's good movement off the ball. And when he gets... He's trying to find space. Look, he almost stands still in there.
That's a difficult one for a defender, Martin, isn't it? You know, he's playing in between your holding midfielder, in front of you as a back four. And the decision as a centre-half is, do you go or do you stay?
Yeah. I mean, personally there, I'd have been holding the line and letting him wander into midfield because I'm worried about the space behind me. And there's the space again. And Stevens, at no point there is he sprinting. You've got to basically take a photograph of that as the ball's delivered and then go with the runner. You're looking at it here now. Steve's not sprinting at any point. Get back, get goal side. And once he's got the other side of you, you're in trouble when he dictates.
And it's now just fingers crossed that after this run out, no niggles, no problems, you just want him fit, get him on a games now.
Yeah, and I think that injury needs to be managed as well because it's almost sort of bone on bone with his knees. He looked to me there to be maybe slightly limping at the end of the match, but he's with the right manager for that and they'll nurse him through. He'll probably do a different training programme. He really needs Arsene Wenger to be at that club for the future because with coming back from the injuries he's had and the intelligence of the manager, he will nurse him back. But when he plays, boy, does he give a contribution.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure Arsene Wenger is delighted with that contribution tonight. And right now, Arsene is with Des.
Arsene, did you enjoy the view? Did it look better from up there than it would on the touchline?
Well, when you score goals, it looks good from everywhere. But overall, I think it was good to watch because we had a good game, dynamic, very explosive as well, and always very dangerous in control. And of course, against a young Southampton team. But overall, I believe we had a good 90 minutes.
Can we start with Danny Welbeck? What a return, considering that was his first start of the season. He looked ridiculously sharp.
He was very sharp because he worked very hard, you know. And Danny comes back from a long way out, and I think he has gone through some very difficult moments mentally. And overall, I believe that his resilience was absolutely marvelous after the first step of disappointment, and he's rewarded tonight, so we are all happy.
And Theo Walcott, who's missed 6 games as well, he returns. It feels like he's getting, and scoring goals, a hat-trick of course, it feels like he's getting that whole squad together at the perfect time.
Well, yes, it would be ideal. We lost Cazorla for a very long time, you know, and I would say that Walcott, you know, this season he scores many goals, and the problem is sometimes he has been out for a while, but now it's hopefully everybody will be back, and that we can use them all at the right moment as well.
And you said you had a lot of experience in this side despite the changes, but you mentioned a young midfield, so credit to them today and their performance.
They were the surprise of the day a little bit because they had no experience at that level, and overall I believe that Chamberlain has done very well in there, and of course Adelaide and Maitland-Niles as well.
Was it odd to be so far from the action? Did it affect you today, the practicalities of it?
Yes, you miss something, you know. I spent so much time on the bench that physically it's difficult to be far away, but when the team wins, that's the most important, is that the Arsenal Football Club wins the game.
And what's your verdict on the FA's decision? Is it fair, harsh, lenient?
I do not want to judge the judges, you know. I said I have to get on with it, and that's what I want to do and not talk about it anymore.
Well, you're into Monday's draw. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A wise answer from a wise manager. Well, look, one thing he would have loved from sitting up there in the director's box was the performance of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It was like he'd taken a Pirlo pill or something. He was there in the middle of the park, spraying balls around. It's OK doing it tonight against a much-changed Southampton, but is this now an experiment that we need to see more often?
Well, Arsene Wenger's particularly interested in the artistic part of the game. He wants to see artists, and you saw one at work tonight, because he's got willing runners, of course, but you need someone to pick out the pass. And there was a variation to his play. He's played in the central midfield role as a young kid. There were lots of injuries. It's almost been forced upon Wenger tonight. But I feel that's his natural position because he has that pace there as well. He can make things happen. There's no doubt. Look at that for a pass, trying to thread that. Great defending in the end, stopped them. But he was always looking for it, one after another. These are all good passes, nicely weighted, willing runners, and it sets Arsenal away. And you need that player to make those passes. It's balance in the midfield, and it was a perfect balance. Look at this outside of the right foot, nice and confident, and he needs that landscape. He needs to be in the middle so that he can be artistic and
so
create
is this
things.
something we need to see more of, do you both think?
Well, he'll certainly be feeling like that, won't he, Jake? He should feel rightly pleased and proud of his performance this evening. I think, listen, give players time and space on the ball.
It is one game, but we need to see if he can now replicate it, don't we?
Of course, that's the challenge for him.
Yeah, and usually an Ozil or, you know, they've had a Ramsey in there. I mean, this is the amazing. I mean, Giroud, Sanchez wasn't there tonight. Sanchez on the bench. You know, all these players that normally play, and then all by accident. You know, have they found his rightful position? And Wenger will act on that. If he sees something and he likes it, he'll keep him in there.
Yeah. We'll hear hopefully a bit later from Claude Puel, the Saints manager. How do you, though, with your Southampton hat on, reflect on this? Is this just a build-up of fixtures, you're in the League Cup final, so you make those changes and you go for it tonight? Or will he be regretting some of the decisions he made, do you think?
I think it's always going to be one of those evenings tonight, you know, like coming off the back of the result on Wednesday, reaching the EFL Cup final, mindful again that there's a game on Tuesday, an away Premier League fixture against Swansea. How are we going to approach this? It was always going to be either flying into this game, performance-wise from the players, but the manager, Claude Puel, has made that decision, I think, to try and protect and manage the squad a little bit with the selection that we've seen. It's been tough on the youngsters out there, especially tonight, you know, being in the full glare and on the, you know, the wrong end of a result like that against Arsenal. But, you know, I just hope it doesn't knock their confidence too much, the young ones.
Of course. And despite all that, he will still get the criticism that this is the FA Cup and he's prioritised a game on Tuesday night in the Premier League when they're unlikely to get into Europe and unlikely to get relegated.
They were forced into a lot as well. You know, we mentioned earlier, you know, he's got an awful lot of injuries. So, you know, yes, he has rotated the squad and he's come in for certain criticism from the Southampton supporters because of that a little bit. But, you know, his hand was forced to a degree as well tonight.
He has to show confidence, though, in these young players. What's the point in giving them squad numbers if you're never going to play them?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it's just, you hope it doesn't scar the players too much. I don't think it will. It's been a really good story for Southampton this season, but it was really a sort of a bridge too far today. The quality, it was men against boys at times, and that was a little bit worrying for them. They had all their big guns on the bench. That was the option they took.
Yeah. Their focus now, won't it? 26th of February, League Cup final, win that. Get into Europe once more. Right, there's still plenty to talk about because it's been a big old day in the Cup. There's the celebrations in the Lincoln dressing room. Of course, the champagne is flying. They're into the next round. A brilliant result for them today. And from the delight to the despair, Jurgen Klopp, another man who made plenty of changes. He paid the price today. Paul Lambert's Wolves beating Liverpool at Anfield. All the reaction next.